happens up there. Doesn't matter. Keep your swagger.
Welcome everyone to another edition of Sit Start Saturday on this glorious day of the Stadium Series between Columbus and Detroit, where the colors are reversed. We're your hosts today, Jay and Alan. I guess let's get into it. And by the way, if you happen to be going to the Stadium Series game today, oh, wrong hand. There we go. That's where I am. Don't be scared to say hi. I'm in nosebleeds because I didn't realize how much bigger a football field is than a hockey rink. So let me share there. We do have a couple of submissions there in the starter bench on the Discord. Blades of Zeal, who to start, head-to-head points with plus minus, no bangs. I don't know, Jay. This one feels pretty straightforward to me. I like Voronkov because I'm manifesting a big game today.
Geez, I'm still like grinding it down to find it. Oh yeah, okay, there we go. So who's he got? He's got
Rust versus Boston, McCann versus Vancouver, Voronkov versus Detroit. I mean, Voronkov's been a little streaky, but I mean, this is I'm hoping for a big game. Like both of these teams are literally in the same. They're the two wild cards in the East right now. So this is a 4-point game, even though they're not in the same division.
For sure. I just can't help but think, but like Vancouver's constants in the media, I wonder if it's, like a positive thing to, lean into it against it as McCann. But
I kind of feel like, well, as long as Lankinen's starting, I feel like Vancouver's been a little stingy lately with giving up goals. I could be very wrong, though.
It's definitely one where I think the media is so rampant that I think my impression is very colored. But then I'm looking at it again, and they're still in the midst of a playoff chase.
Yeah, they're second wild card in the West.
Wild card. They do have a couple of games. Oh, sorry, no, they do have games in hand on the other two teams, on St. Louis and with Utah. Yeah, I don't know. My first impression seeing this on glance, like all of them obviously are pretty. I don't think you could go wrong with any of their ceilings, so to speak. I would say the floor of, I don't know.
I think McCann's been pointless in a lot of games lately. So I mean, he could just be due.
Yeah. Right. But at the same time, he's been. Let's see. Let's pull up McCann.
Yeah, 1 point in his last 5. And that was after a 4-game point streak.
Oh, geez, this is disgusting.
So, I mean, McCann could be due, but if Lankinen starts, Lankinen's been really stingy.
He's also been bounced down on both ends, right? Line 3 and power play 2. So
yeah, I mean that's Seattle for you. They're just like a full team of like middle sixers.
And then on a full team of middle sixers. And then on the flip side, I guess if you're to look at Voronkov, L1 PB1.
Yeah, Voronkov on that line that I saw last night has the highest. That top line in Columbus has the highest goal differential in the league. It's like them, Vegas, Tampa.
Yeah. So I guess the real question is, if we rule out McCann, do we believe in Fantilikov or do we believe in Ricky Rax, Rust, and, Sid the Kid?
I don't know. I'm starting to see why Rust is less than 50% owned. Like he just hasn't been involved in as many of the goals lately. I don't know. Like everything screams Voronkov on this one for me.
Let's manifest it, Alan. Let's do it.
I need a 6'5", 7'5", just barn burner game at the Horseshoe today.
And we need you to witness it live in person.
That's right. Yeah, man. I was just like, oh yeah, these seats are actually affordable. Let's do it. And then I bought my wife and I some binoculars because that's probably the only way we're gonna get to see the game, other than just watching Ans play hockey. From D Stu here, bench 1 points. Lankinen versus Seattle, Decord versus Vancouver, Sorokin versus Nashville, and Allen versus Utah. I'm going Allen versus Utah personally. I cheated and did a little homework before the show. I think Allen's lost 4 of his last 5.
Right. The one that was throwing me a bit was like, it really depends who starts for Nashville. Like, I couldn't believe it. It's in my tag right there. But yeah, like 11-game winning streak, no sweat. Just roll into Nashville and have Nashville clear that out for you. If Saros is doing, if Saros is in the net tonight, I'd imagine like you'd really want to see if they could keep that going. At the same time, I do think Sorokin also came off a 38 save. Well, it was a win. It wasn't a shutout. It was 38. How much was it? Let's see. It
sounds like you're leaning play Sorokin, which I would agree with against Nashville.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming Lankinen and Decord start. You play both. One of them's going to win.
Yeah.
It's just that for me, it's
right?
Allen hasn't been like that sturdy backup we all thought he could be.
Maybe the play is to bench out. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Bench Allen.
I'm misreading this whole time. Yeah, because you're talking about benching Allen and then having everybody else up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, we're good.
Sweet, and that's it, man.
That the other vote is Sorokin, though.
Right? I mean, Nashville, again, like I mentioned on the pod Wednesday, it's just like, they got their goalies are good, but they get no goal support. Made even worse tonight because it sounds like Gustav Nyquist is being healthy scratched for trade protection purposes.
But Yossi is back, which is
he?
I
was still waiting on some sort of diagnosis there.
Maybe I was reading rumors. Let's reconfirm.
As I say, everything I was reading was that he's still being evaluated, but maybe I missed something. That is entirely possible.
I mean, it just said he wasn't available, but
looks
that's
like
just for the Thursday. Yeah, there's nothing on. I guess we'll check Twitter.
So all the more reason if Nashville's down Yossi, play whatever.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Nashville. Yeah, I mean, they did beat Winnipeg without him, which is
insane.
Yeah, I don't even.
And it's funny because I think I benched Marchessault in that game, and that was the right move.
Even in the wins, trust the bench. Speaking of which, on Twitter it says Nichushkin is back on PP1.
Yes. I think it was like their first power play of the game. Nichushkin. So who does that bump off?
Let's see. So it's I need it. I'll check it actually.
Hopefully it bumps off Drouin, for the love of everything that is holy.
Everything that is holy just bumps off Drouin instead. Okay, let's pull it all the way up, and it looks to be
Lehkonen. It looks like they bumped off Lehkonen.
Yeah, unfortunate. I don't
know why they try so hard to make Drouin work. Man. Oh, and we got something in the chat here. Start Dustin Wolf or Jake Allen today. So who does Calgary play? They play Florida. Ouch.
Florida's still going to be riding on the Samoskevich sweepstakes, though. No.
I don't think Tkachuk is back yet. I haven't heard anything about a return for him. So in this case, I would say Jake Allen might be the better.
Yeah,
the better of the two.
Jake Allen. I would prefer Jake Allen over Dustin Wolf.
Not that Wolf isn't good. I just no,
it's just that Allen is far likelier to receive the dub.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, Tkachuk, at least according to Money Puck here, expected back March 11th. So
March 11th?
He's out for a minute. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely kills a lot of value for playoffs coming up too.
I know. I'm so glad he was someone I was thinking about trading for as like a second half guy, but dodged my own bullet there.
Yeah, I guess the other place we could go is, are we talking add drop maybe?
That's where I was heading next. Scroll
Okay.
all the way to the bottom.
Add drop.
Let's
I guess Blades of
see.
Zeal.
You know what? Yeah, I like this one. 16 teams, head points. Who should be on the roster rest of the season? Pick 2.
Oh, I was going even
Oh.
up a little bit, right? Like to
okay.
That Blue Jackets playoffs.
Oh, there we go. Ouch.
I think the name that sticks out is Hayton, right?
Yeah. Hayton
Hayton.
to me is more of a stream than
For sure. Yeah. So Blades of Zeal, I think if you can snag Jenner and replace him with Hayton, I think there's a huge value there. I think at the same time, don't fall in love with that value because there is going to be Monahan back, right? And I think when Monahan comes back,
and that could bump Jared. Well, it also depends on how long Cole Sillinger's out, because I think he left their most recent game.
Yeah,
because if Sillinger is going to be out for a while and Monahan comes back, then see Boone Jenner.
It does say a little while. Oh, that doesn't sound good. What was it? It's an upper body injury?
Yeah, I didn't catch it.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
All right, so 12 team Cats.
Oh, and I guess just to mention for Blades of Zeal, probably don't add McCann and drop the other guys.
Or don't drop McCann. Don't drop McCann.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's looking at.
Oh, Pinto. Sorry, I just got the notification. Pinto's back.
Okay. That's really good for Ottawa. That was just shitty timing with Brady,
everyone,
Norris,
every center,
and Pinto. Yeah, man. Ouch. Because they were looking good for a minute. Everything was clicking, and then Four Nations, man, that was that was a hard reset on the league there. Swiss cheese, add one, Slavkovsky or Lacombe. I feel like if Slavkovsky is available, you gotta pull the trigger on that.
I mean, they also fill different roles, right? Because unless you have tons of util slots, like what's your weakest forward look like? What's your weakest D man look like? I think you're gonna.
I mean, at this point in the season, as people kind of stop playing because they're not in contention, whatnot, I feel like line one guys are going to be harder and harder to find.
For sure.
Even on the bad teams. That's why it's Slavkovsky for me. Like Lacombe,
I was talking about all those other folks that have that were thinking of benching Brady Tkachuk, like that's just going through a slump because they have those many forwards. And I'm like, those guys would love to have Jackson Lacombe available on a wire to snag, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, Lacombe's a defenseman, but and I guess those power play one guys. But yeah, Slavkovsky, line one, power play one.
Well, I meant more so if those guys are, thinking of dropping and benching all those different dudes, I'm thinking you just drop one of your other forwards, snag Lacombe, and then you can shore up a defenseman guy instead. I don't know if I don't know. Swiss cheese, I think you have to give some more info before we choose one. Like in a vacuum, I could probably say Slavkovsky.
Oh, by a mile. Yeah. To me, Montreal's the better team. For sure. Again, at this point, I just feel like the waiver wire gets drier and drier as even like in the listener league we're in, it's just a lot of these like Dallas guys, these fringe Dallas guys, like you can't even get them because someone picked them up and now they're not in contention or a playoff spot or whatever, but they're not going to just do everyone a favor and drop all these guys. Like they're just wasted slots on someone else's team.
For sure. Wasted production.
16 team head-to-head points. Who should be on the roster rest of season? Oof. This is tough. Pick 2.
Let's see.
Head-to-head
points, right?
Yeah, it's still tough. I mean, you got to give the schedule to Zuccarello, but he did score in their game last night, but still that's like 1 point in 9 games or whatever. I've just moved the bar.
I would assume Tippett is a lock of all those guys. I think Tippett,
I can agree there. I can
think
agree
Tippett.
there.
Mainly lock for the reasoning,
Especially
that,
in 16 teams.
yeah, Garnet Hathaway's out, right? So he's gonna get that up to deployment. He's kind of the only, like, man.
And
It's really
Philly will most likely be sellers in the next week,
Right.
which I feel like that's more opportunity for Tippett.
For sure. It is brutal to see who in the world is carrying the scoring load, because it really just seems like it's Travis Konechny, and then it's just actually Travis Konechny. So hopefully Tippett, I think,
And
just
Michkov.
I'm scrolling hard now to get him. Like, he is 40. How many points? 44 points. Yeah, it's not too bad.
So we're probably looking at like 60 points.
Yeah, for sure.
Michkov's.
For sure. But I mean, that's still...
Frank, is Nedeljkovic an obvious drop? Yes.
Yeah, no.
Like after Jari got sent down to the minors a second time, I'm like, yeah, I'm not touching Penguins goalies for the rest of the season.
What was that hoorah I was like seeing recently about him not being the consummate professional? Was he like
Nedeljkovic
really
or
upset
Jari?
when he got Nedeljkovic? Like,
Oh,
did he get
huh.
did he get like pounded and then like leave the game or something like that?
Oh, that was him. That's right. I think it was. Yeah, I don't even think it was like goofy, like he let in bad goals or something. I feel like it was just he got pulled, I don't know, pretty early or something, it was just like he did not think it was worth being pulled, but it was more a coach's decision.
Right. I mean,
because what game was that?
Was it the last one? Because the last one looked pretty competitive. That was the frustrating one. He slammed the door. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. There's been reading about it, and I was like,
he played a little less than
Nedeljkovic?
half the game. Yeah, I think it was. How many did he let in at that point? Because the final score was 5-4 Pens.
5-4. So I was
he let in. Oh my gosh, he let in 3 on 15. Come on. Yeah, he deserved to be pulled.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. It probably also really sucks that the team won. Does that make sense? It actually galvanized the team, like.
Right. Which, I mean, that's why some coaches do it, is like wake up. Like that's the
friggin'
that's right. Oh yeah. He
Yeah.
slammed the door, and then I think because they were talking about it on 32 Thoughts, that it's just like, hey, you can't have like the door open or something funny. I don't know. Yeah, he slammed that door when he went to the bench.
You can't have that door open. Oh man, that is going to be.
It was one of the. It was one of the bits. I'm like, I'm not really paying attention here, because it's not something I'm like super concerned about for fantasy purposes.
That's so funny. Oh man, that was the justification. Yeah.
I mean, unless you are truly desperate, I don't think you want to own Penguins goalies at this point.
I'm sold though. I'm voting for Rust on the other guy. Oh my goodness, Tippett and Rust is the way to go. If all you need to do for the Penguins is get your goalie pulled on 15 shots,
but I don't
want
even
in on the
Rust
goals, Alan.
Scored anything in that game though.
I don't think
5
so
goals,
either.
and I don't think Rust factored in on any of them.
Please tell me you got like an assist. Nothing.
No, nothing.
God damn it! On 20
no shots
of ice time. Oh god.
Yeah, all he had to his name was 5 hits for that game on Thursday.
It was his frustration, Alan. He's like, hell, I can't even get it on any of the
solidarity with Nedeljkovic, with Ned.
Oh, it's great.
I don't know, for the other one, I think just from a schedule perspective,
it can't be Hayton, right? Like Hayton doesn't even get good scheduling for the next 2 weeks.
Even in 16 teams, Hayton to me is a stream.
Yes.
And of course, like then, I tried to hold him for this week, and then I had to drop him, and of course he scores like a goal or 2 after I drop him. So you're welcome, everyone. I don't know. It's Zook or Jenner for me.
Rest of season, I think Zook has the schedule. And then I think Jenner is the guy that probably has the highest ceiling, right? Like assuming I don't know, a late push from Columbus. So I'm thinking it's Zook for the schedule, but I don't trust the ceiling as much. I think Jenner has the highest
I know.
ceiling of
I
all
think
the-
Jenner, especially if you have bangs, Jenner has the better ceiling.
I think I'm talking myself, and you are like, positive feedback looping me into saying
Yeah.
it's Jenner. I'm
It's
voting
tough.
Jenner.
I am between Jenner and Zook. Zook purely for schedule, even though again, all he has done is reset the timer and he's got like 1 point in 9 games.
There are so many Jenner votes. Holy smokes.
I feel like
Jeez.
Zook is pretty useless without Kaprizov, and we don't know when he's coming back.
I hear you.
Yeah, I'm going Jenner. Let's do it.
There were so many Jenner votes. My goodness.
I don't blame him.
Let's see. Any
CG.
chance, any good LA? Oh, sorry. Yeah, we're going to CG.
Weekly lock, 12-team points league, playoffs week 23-24, best rest of season, 4th D-man. So Burns, I freaking hate it because I feel like a lot of the guys I called out by name, something happened to them or whatever. Like Bunting had an appendectomy like the next day. And right after I said Burns is back on power play 1, Ghost is back on power play 1. So Burns is very expendable again. Brock Faber, did he
Schedule helps for sure.
Schedule, but is he even power play 1?
He does not.
I know he got an assist last night.
It's not alternative facts or whatever, but it gives you false hope. That's what it is.
Yeah, Faber is back on power play 1 for what that's worth. I'm assuming Riley,
like he plays the minutes.
Yeah.
He must have. Alan, you know what it is? In leagues that have takeaways or like,
well, I think they're down a
good-
couple defensemen again.
But like, is there any fantasy points league that gives like good positioning or some shit? Like that must be the one that like he gets like top points in.
I've heard of some leagues where time on ice gets you something.
Okay, yeah, he would win for sure because Lord knows he's only doing laps on the ice. Like he's doing nothing else.
For me, it's assuming Morgan Riley. Now that they're kind of,
it's got to be Morgan Riley. It's got to be Morgan Riley.
Flipping between a 5-forward power play and a traditional power play. I don't know. For me, it's between Lohrei and Riley.
I am so burned by Riley in so many leagues. Oh my God. What's he? He's ranked 300th in mine. Lord knows. And the thing is too, like he just came off 4 points against Boston in a comeback victory. Like that seems pretty good, but I don't know, man. Like
I know I love how we were just talking about like, yeah, Riley is totally droppable. And then he actually does stuff.
It's extra aggravating because you already know he's gonna do jack shit when you need him to because now he's got the attention. It's like, just aggravates me. And like the thing is too, like it's not as if the Leafs were struggling with him doing nothing, right? Like what was it? 4 wins in a row?
Yeah.
7 wins in the
and
last
that's what's
8.
like they don't need Riley to win. Like Lohrei, I factors in much more. Yeah, and McAvoy.
He's a D1 dude that gets less than 20 minutes. What the hell is that?
Riley or Lohrei?
Riley.
Oh, yeah, that sounds right.
Oh my God. Okay, let's look at Lohrei.
I mean, with McAvoy out, I mean, Money Puck is saying expected back March 11th. I'm not sure I buy that. I have heard like no timeline on McAvoy.
McAvoy's also going to just be held out if they peel off and then
that's true. Yeah,
games,
right? If they're out of contention, they may just shut McAvoy down rest of the season.
They're 3-5-2. They've lost 5 in a row. And imagine, and like the Detroit game today that you're going to is like worst case Ontario for Boston, right? Like if that game goes to OT, Boston.
There we go. Yeah, they both get points. That nudges Boston further down.
It's terrible on that end. So I don't know. I would hold on to Lohrei's upside because like even though we talked about Riley's got 5, like he got 4 points in a game. He got an extra assist. Lowry still got 4 assists in the past 2 games too, right? The dude
Yeah.
is taking advantage of those opportunities given to him from the increased minutes, increased ice time. Oh geez, now I'm talking myself into taking Lowry.
I know it's hard to say. Like in a vacuum, I feel like
Ceiling
if McAvoy
Lowry.
is out rest of the season, yeah, it's Lowry.
Ceiling is Lowry, and I think the floor, but god damn it, is it a low floor? Is Riley.
Between the two,
Between the two.
Riley. If McAvoy comes back, I feel like Lowry's value tanks considerably.
Oh, and that's maybe in that case, CG safely go Riley, because no matter what, he's still going to fall no further than power play 2. Right?
I know, but if Riley doesn't get that top power play, he's pretty worthless.
He's honestly pretty worthless, even with
like he's
Burns
down there with Burns and Faber.
And in that way, I guess Lowry's ceiling is, he seems to be doing much more offensively. I don't know. It's difficult.
Yeah, it's but I feel like Burns and Faber are very Burns absolutely expendable.
I'm not doing Burns or Faber. No,
it's if he's Riley not getting top power play, he's drop. Not even a fifth defenseman.
No. Dylan Holloway. Yeah, that man's.
First thoughts on Nason, another obvious drop. It's tough because when he gets that power play 1 for some reason and is frequently been on line 2, but yeah, I've come to terms with the fact that he's very streaky because I held him for a good point in a spot, or for a good amount of time this season in one spot. I'd say, and his drop in ownership has reflected that, because for a while he was hovering right about 50%. Now he's like 33, I think we said on Wednesday night. Yeah, I'd say streamer if Jersey has a good week, but depending on the depth of your league, probably droppable.
Well, the other thing with Nason is he falls into the classic trap of, like, when I'm thinking of guys that are must adds off the waiver wire, he doesn't stand out, and he doesn't get the name recognition. He doesn't have like the Huberdeau casual fan name recognition. He's got like immense fantasy value, but that fantasy value doesn't outperform like another better schedule waiver wire ad. So you can probably safely drop him in the sense that you're only going to be competing with yourself to add him up again if they have a good schedule. Like, how many hockey fans, like I'm not saying fantasy fans, how many hockey fans do you know who would recognize Nason? I genuinely don't think so. Yeah. So you're probably safe to drop him, mainly because no one knows who he is. Even if he does way more, I guess, like in terms of fantasy relevance than, an average Joe, you can probably just drop him because he's going to come back to your roster sooner rather than later.
Dang, I'm trying to find... Because they're bringing, because Frank is also saying talk about Dylan Holloway. Sorry, I'm trying to see what the Blues' schedule is for the rest of the season.
Yeah. So first glance is they've got three games next week, and another 3 games the following week. It really depends on that playoff schedule too, right? Like it depends which weeks are going to be the playoff schedule.
And I need, like I said, I think I just need to like write down or print out like what each week's is for the rest of the season.
Just go daily face off and like print off like, that page sort of thing.
Because St. Louis has 22 games for the rest of the season.
Oh, they do have a 4-gamer. Okay.
7 off nights, which is kind of toward the bottom. I mean, good individual player. Because what do we got? Shooting percent 13.2. Not bad. He's hot. His shooting rate is up. He's just getting more opportunity in St. Louis than he was in Edmonton, which good on the Blues for freaking like offer sheeting him and Broberg.
Looking at that glance, just a quick glance for the remainder. So there's 5 weeks that I think most leagues are going to play. I'm calling them 5 weeks in the sense that it's March 3rd, March 10, March 17, March 24, March 31st, right? So those are the 5 weeks I'm talking. If you follow that, it goes 3, 3, 4, 3, 3. And I think all of them.
I was going to say all those 3 weeks are probably the Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Yeah, it's all, and even that fourth game, the week where the middle week, the March 17, where they have 4, it's all heavy nights with the exception of the Sunday off night at the end of the week.
From 29 points in 31 games, that's awesome. Like
sure.
as a real player, St. Louis made the right move, offer sheeting him and Broberg. From a fantasy perspective, I'm just not. It depending on your depth of league, like a 10 team.
Oh, off nights still matter, right? For sure. No riffs, 18 points. Yeah, I don't know, Alan.
I'm not sure. In a 12 team,
value.
He might be worth holding. But I don't know. In a 10 team, I feel like week to week, you're probably going to find someone a little better on the wire.
Yeah, well, it's 12 team for him, but the week 23 and 24 playoffs. So that's the 24th and that's the 31st, I think. In which case it's literally just 3 games. In which case, I guess it's dependent on their strength of schedule, because their week 23, or I guess the March 24th week, they're facing Montreal, another playoff, I guess, like contending team, Nashville, which is a dud, and Colorado, which I don't necessarily want to have sweepstakes in. But the week following is great because then they face
it looks
the
like
Isles,
3 game weeks, no off nights.
Yeah, I know, but he's weekly locked, so he doesn't need the off night or whatever consideration. But then the week following, there's Isles, Ottawa, and Buffalo. Maybe Isles and Ottawa are actually doing way better now, so they're not like freebie wins.
Wait,
if anything, they'd be meeting.
Are you looking?
Sorry,
I was like, what dates do you have? Because Yahoo is telling me.
Yeah, it's Detroit, Pittsburgh, and Colorado. Detroit, Pittsburgh, and Colorado. Sorry, I was looked at that.
I mean, they have some good winnable games. I just 2-3 weeks.
Oh, geez, I am sorry. CG was right. I am mixing up the two, Frank and CG. So I guess if we're just talking Frank's question first, did he mention somewhere where it's 10-teamer?
No, I was just saying he's just talking about Dylan Holloway in general.
Right.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I am confusing CG. Yeah, I'm not. Dylan Holloway is probably a good player, but I don't know about like a solid rest of season hold, depending on your league. But here we go. CG's question: best rest of season. Timo, Rust, Svetch, Stamkos.
Timo. It's gotta be Timo.
Really, I'm thinking Svetch.
Oh yeah.
Svetch once Rantanen gets going. Like Rantanen apparently before Thursday's game, I think, he's only shooting at like 4% because everyone's like already hitting the panic button on that Rantanen trade, saying that is Carolina gonna move him again because he's not working at. It's like he's shooting at 4%, and then I guess Carolina hasn't really had a good chance to get like a schedule or a good practice. There we go, good practice.
You know what? Yeah. So obviously, we're talking ceilings. Rantanen, Aho, Svechnikov is way higher than Timo's setup, right? Where he's working with Dawson Mercer.
Not power play 1.
Dawson. Yeah. Nico or Escher. Yeah. So power play 2 as well. Yeah. Oh, if
Hockey.
you have Aho? Oh my God. Yeah. Stack for sure.
Hockey terrorist Sheldon Keefe.
Okay. CG. Easy. If you have both Svetch and Aho, then yeah, you definitely want the two of them together. I'm a huge believer in stacks. Oh my God, yeah, absolutely.
This good guy. What's Stamkos even pacing for? It's just sad to see him fall off that hard. Yeah, 45 point pace for Stamkos, coming from like point per game player for years. Was
it Kucherov this whole time, Alan? Was it Kucherov?
Right? Was Stamkos a product of Kucherov? Yeah, Stamkos is a power play merchant.
Oh, bad. Oh, boys.
Like it hurt, but I trusted the management for Tampa, and Gensel's been just amazing this season for us, and we're just better 5-on-5.
Sure.
It just hurts to see him fall off that hard.
If only he signed a team friendly, I don't know what the value, the AAV would have been, but could have been the best of all worlds.
For me, it's Svetch.
Yeah, no, I've 100% reconverted to Svetch, knowing that he is Aho. Oh my goodness, yeah. Team stacks for sure.
Oh man, that is a loaded question, Jordan. What are our thoughts on Elias Pettersson? Oh, what a bum! What a
It's so difficult. Like, the team is not doing as bad as the media is playing them out to do. But
I mean, yeah, like we just said earlier in the show, they're a wild card. They're second wild card in the West.
Yeah.
But
like, you put that the real thing is that team is a Quinn Hughes team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you basically have the games where he plays well and the games where he's playing, like, not even poorly, just not carrying the entire team on his back, and you see the huge gap in difference.
I forget like what his what the stats were, but it was just like they're two different teams when Quinn Hughes is on the ice and when he's not.
Absolutely.
And it sucks because Pettersson should be part of that, and he's just not. So
the other guy is like they had a huge step up last season from who's the guy? Dakota Joshua. Yeah, Dakota Joshua, right? Like, he stepped up big time, ramping up into the playoffs at the end of the season. And it's just, who in the world is well, I mean, I guess it could still be Dakota Joshua coming back, but like, who else could do and replicate that sort of production?
I don't know if I'd say he's yeah. I don't know if I'd say you're delusional, whale alarm. It might just be sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah. Well, he was getting drafted early.
Second round. I took him second round this season.
Yeah. And
thank God I was able to trade him early in the season. Holy shit. I probably would have dropped him at some point if I still owned him.
Was definitely a blinking moment. Like, one, Alan, I can't believe it hasn't come up yet, but March 1st, can you believe? Is that just like, 2025, but March 1st, we're solid 3 months into the year. He's not really done anything spectacular in any of the moments.
PD is, and God, like a 54-point pace for someone who pretty much all his career has been point per game plus. His shooting percentage is down. The shot generation is down, like a little more than half a shot per game.
Doesn't even have 100 shots yet. Who else is on the team that needs to shoot?
Probably third. Yeah, it's just like anyone at that point in the season, we're looking at like third line guys. Like, something is wrong. We could spend all day trying to figure it out, but something is wrong with PD the player, I think. And does he get it right after the season, or does he get it? Does he get it right this season? I don't know.
Am I seeing this right, though? Is he on both? Sorry, I misread it. Quinn Hughes is on both.
Oh, yeah, he absolutely would be.
Oh, my goodness. They're just going to run this man into the ground, too. Oh, boys. Suzuki for
wow.
You know what? Okay.
In a 12 team, you have Dry and Pasta. Yeah, no wonder why he entered first. Well, I mean, I guess he probably drafted Draisaitl and then
he must have drafted both of them, right? Could he have drafted both?
Not in a 12 team.
No. It's not possible.
Unless one of them fell really far.
That's crazy. How did he get both of them?
He probably traded low on Pasta, is my guess.
Natchez probably somehow ended up in that trade somehow. Because, like, could have been, like, in the overlapping part when Natchez was, like, top dude and then, like, Pasta was, like, slumping or something along those lines. Yeah, that Suzuki trade, though, brutal. But hey, to be fair, if you were going ceiling for ceiling, I think I would have fallen into EP.
PD.
Yeah, PD for sure. And then I think floor for floor, you probably would have thought they would be rather equal as well. Traded for Pasta. Traded for 140th ranked. Oh yeah,
wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, because remember he was the beginning of the season. I think they were just trying to make Elias Lindholm work, and he just wasn't.
Yeah, it was a tough hold for sure. Tough hold. Oh my god.
So best
Great
rest of
dog.
the season: Kemper, Stellaris, or Blackwood. I think it's Blackwood. It's so Blackwood.
Wait, but Stolars. Like,
Stellaris. I feel like Stellaris is going to be a tandem.
no,
rest
but
of the
I was
season?
thinking more like Kemper is a starter, Stolars
Yeah.
is a tandem, Blackwood is a starter. Do we are we on the pod advocating the running of 3 goalies? I thought it's just 2 goalies and like stream in the last one if you really need.
I
So I thought, like,
personally like to run 3.
Oh, okay.
Depending on how deep your bench is.
Gotcha.
Because I think there was an instance earlier in the season where TJ and I were like, "Yeah, your roster's too shallow. Just run 2."
Because
don't
I'm
know.
thinking if you have Kemper and Blackwood, you have 2 starters. Why do you need a tandem goalie?
Right?
That's just my thought. So I'm like, Stolars, like, have all 3, keep them all. I don't know if I'd keep Stolars. I'd probably exactly could use an extra forward. I'd probably gut Stolars.
Yeah.
Please,
So
Wall.
yeah, and
hurt your hamstring.
depending on what forward you're looking to pick up, I would say Stollers is probably the most expendable.
Yeah, or wait till Kemper gets on his next DTD stint, and then pop him on IR Plus, and you're good to go.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I could see where Stollers has already been injured once this season. Kemper is a little bit of a Band-Aid boy.
Yeah, I was talking about Kemper, but yeah. Worried about goalie injury? I hate to break it to you, CG. You are accurately assessing your team to be worried about goalie injury. You have all 3 potential Band-Aid boys on your roster.
I don't think Blackwood's a Band-Aid boy.
You don't think so? He's been Band-Aid boy for like the last 2 years.
Really?
I mean, well, I may be mixing up long-term injury in addition to Band-Aid boy. Yeah, he's not.
There we go. I feel like you're confusing his like long-terms and
long-term injury.
Yeah.
Could be flare-ups though, Alan. I don't know. But like, he's been pretty good since he joined the Avs, I think.
It was getting away from New Jersey, I think, was what really boosted his career.
Well, thank goodness he was never with the Minnesota Wild, with what we've understood to be.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because you look at his games played the last few seasons in New Jersey, it was like 22, 25, and then goes to San Jose, plays 44, and this season so far he has played 44 games.
CG's league does not have IR plus. Oh my God.
That sucks.
Jeez, brutal.
So moving on here, thinking about streaming Donato next week for Chicago's schedule. What is Chicago's schedule?
Chicago is they have Monday, Wednesday, Friday off nights.
Okay.
And they play on Saturday on a 10 game. So 20. It's a lighter. It's still a heavy night, but it's not like a 14 or 15 game heavy night, right? So chance you might still fit them in, and then you still get the Sunday for an extra stream spot.
Even Saturday is not that bad. It's 10 games, so you probably have room to roster him.
For sure. Yeah.
But he's worried he might get traded. I feel like
man, you add him now. You can't worry about that already.
It's like when you draft people anticipating injury. It's like, no. You can't do that. You just gotta it's like, they always say McKinnon and Rantanen miss like 10, 15 games a season. You can't draft with that in mind. You just gotta run with it and hope for the best.
And the other one is maybe that's a play now where you use your week, I guess, the current week ad to try to, preempt that, and then you have an available ad to rotate out.
Yeah, you're saying like try to pick him up this week instead of next week. Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
And then Jordan also traded Timo for Panarin. Ooh, nice. Should he be worried?
Timo for Panarin. Oh my goodness. No. Isn't Panarin like crazy value? Yeah.
Well, he just hasn't been crazy like in years past.
I mean, like he's always.
I mean, New York, the Rangers as a whole, he's still pacing point per game, which
He still shot the
that's
most of every Ranger, 170
probably better
shots.
than what Timo's doing for you.
Well, the Rangers are in, like, let's keep it in perspective too, right? They were last in the division, right? Like they were in dire straits. Like, I mean, obviously they'll probably need to take the Columbus Blue Jackets lunch in order for them to make the playoffs. So unfortunately, I don't know if there'll be like a
And how crazy is that? Where we're looking at a scenario where the Blue Jackets could realistically jump the Devils for third in the division.
It is really insane, yeah. When you frame it into certain perspectives, the Columbus Blue Jackets seem almost legitimate too. Like they have positive goal differential. They have a solid home record, which bodes
So
probably
I feel
well.
like
Yeah,
they're going to get snubbed for so many awards this season just because they're a smaller market team. Like
sure.
I was Spencer Carberry for Jack Adams. No, Dean Evanson, especially if they make the playoffs. Dean Evanson for Jack Adams. And like we said Wednesday, Zach Werenski, probably a dark horse for the Norris.
There is a huge argument to be made that the current setup doesn't probably adequately reward like just how difficult like running and operations in leagues are. So running a tanking team is a totally different strat to running a competent playoff running team to running a contending team. And I think there should probably be some awards that can recognize those differences.
So there we go. Okay, so CG, which two goalies do you keep? I think Kemper and Blackwood.
I'm not in love with Stolarz. Nah, you can't. Not for a tandem.
Especially in a tandem. Yeah.
Not for a tandem. So the other two.
So Kaprizov coming back. I don't know. I mean, last I heard he was going to be out for a little longer than anticipated, which sucks because I feel like I said earlier, that really tanks Zuccarello's value. Which is kind of why I dropped him where I had him. Adam Fox. It sounds like he'll be back. Money Puck is anticipating he'll be back next week. Because it looked like Jay called, it's like Rangers for some reason were like, yeah, 5 forwards, let's go.
So much disrespect for Braden Schneider, man. Give Braden Schneider,
Keandre Miller. They're probably kicking themselves for trading Trouba and Gustafsson, guys who could possibly quarterback that power play. But Kaprizov coming back, it's probably going to be a playoffs move, like fantasy playoffs.
Didn't they just say he's going to be out longer than even originally expected?
And that's what, yeah. Oh yeah, that was the last update I saw on him.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe not so bad. So Money Puck is predicting March 9th for him to return. I don't even know if he started skating yet.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely hurt, right? Like what we said before, Al, he's definitely hurt. The question is he going to be injured or hurt? And right now he's still injured, but just carry that in mind that even if he comes back, he is still for sure hurt. And it's only going to be coming back if that team continues its indomitable slide. Like currently at one point they were ahead of Winnipeg or like neck and neck with Winnipeg. Right now they're sliding into, like almost wildcard territory. So the only reason he's going to be coming back is if they're desperate. And that, I don't know, like a barely freshly moved from injured to hurt,
that goes. I feel like that goes either way. Guys come back and they're like on fire because they can focus on like watching the ice and getting their head game straight, or they're coming back too early and they're not quite fully healed. Any idea when Markstrom's back? I know he's been practicing lately, so should be soon. Yeah, Money Puck's expecting March 7th. I would believe in a next week return for Markstrom if he's a full participant in practices lately.
Yeah, reasonable. Nico Daws.
Is he? Goalie. He wants because I think right now he's the backup for Jersey.
Who's going to get the game against Vegas?
Oof, I don't want that.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, you did get a shutout against. Oh, you got a shutout against Nashville. I don't. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Worth carrying. I don't think Frank, I wouldn't say worth carrying. What I
No.
would say is if you need a stream still, wait on Sunday, factor him in as one of your available guys. But again, yeah, Alan was right. Do you
It's a
really
spot
want to be
start for me.
facing? Do you really want to be facing Vegas? Like, you know,
Paterka or Svetch?
Svetch, right? That's an
I
easy
think
one, right?
yes, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so because I've now seen Paterka just once so far recently as a potential trade target.
Right.
But I think if he gets moved, it's to a worse situation, or
For
maybe
sure.
equivalent. I don't even think he's top line anymore. I think they mix. I forget what line they used Buffalo in their most recent game. Is he still
But
even
yeah,
getting power play time? Yes,
it's got to
he
be
is.
Svetch. I think it's got to be Svetch.
Oh yeah.
Do we want
Agreed.
to round off the ad drop?
Yeah.
It seems like we're a fair bit.
Greenway, Tuck, Thompson as that top line.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Bishop
Evans
or Laurie. Oh, Edvinson. Edvinson's been getting the sneaky points lately. But I feel like if we're
D2, right?
Edvinson, I think so.
Yeah, D2.
They split up that Edvinson Cider pairing.
Gotcha.
Which was nice.
Gotcha. I think Lowry is still the one that like jumps out at me because even the other two guys like Bichelle, I'll check it again too.
I think it depends on what the periffs are worth. Yeah. I feel like Edvinson's he might be more the lock for.
Oh, Bichelle is day to day.
Yes. It sounds like he's close to a return though. He is skating.
Yeah. But Jordan, I would definitely say Lowry of all those guys. Although they're all young dudes, right? Yeah, of all the young guys, I definitely go Lowry still for the ceiling.
Yeah, 55 games in, Edvinson has a hit per game and like 2 blocks a game, just about. Lowry doesn't hit at all. Yeah, I mean, Lowry's the ceiling. Yeah, so there we go. The OC just changed from day to day to IR. We'll miss at least 3 games. I wonder if they'll do it retroactive so he can return it anytime though.
I was gonna say so much for him coming back today.
Yeah.
Do we want to tackle Ceziel's question on drop 2 of them?
In the ad drop?
Ad drop, yeah. Or even Mimes, right? Like Mimes was the next question we had afterwards, where it was like any good LA pickups for the back-to-back. I guess the second half of the back-to-back must.
I know,
be
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So
I would have gone Fogle.
Yeah, I could see it. Yeah.
Fogle or Byfield.
Gotcha.
Is available still.
Drop 2, Cats League.
Don't you dare drop Doughty.
No, for sure not. Although I am saying like the rest of the names are hard drops too. My goodness. Can't
Doughty,
be Nichushkin.
Hintz and Shushkin, they're all safe to me, especially with Dallas's schedule down the stretch.
I don't know if anyone is safe, Alan. Like the rest of these guys are hard drops too. My goodness. Jeez.
Maybe. Well, I don't know.
I might not be as in love with Doughty after all. Hintz is. Oh, okay. Let's see. I gotta check some of the stats first. So,
I feel like for Hintz, it's the points that makes him so valuable. I have 4 assists last night.
Yeah, I know. It's
Nichushkin, and it seems like Colorado is just a whole different team with Nichushkin in the lineup.
Yeah. Dunn has the power play 1 thing going for him.
Well, Seattle's pretty split though, but that's what makes Dunn hard to drop. But I feel like he's purely a points play too. And same with Heischer.
Maybe Dunn is the, I don't know. So I would say in terms of like, there's almost 2 guys that we're considering here, right? Because if you have to drop 2 of them, Doughty and Dunn are always going to be like, I'm considering those 2 on their lonesome because they're power play quarterbacks. Hintz, Nichushkin, Meyer, and Heischer are the guys where I'm considering on the other side because they're, like they're on the forward core, far more replaceable on wires, so to speak, position wise. But in my mind,
Oh yeah, he's sure pure center. He doesn't really do anything other than points.
yeah. So maybe if I'm looking at those three, right? So Hintz, Nishushkin, Meyer, and Heischer. Hintz and Heischer are more of the guys that are points driven. Right?
Yeah.
Let's
But I still feel
see.
like Hintz you
Yeah.
got to keep for the schedule down the stretch.
Yeah. So if it's Hintz or Heischer, we're saying Heischer?
I'm thinking, yeah, sure.
And then
The points are nice, but he doesn't
Yeah.
get you anything else. That you're
I
not
guess it's
getting
more like
from Hintz and Nichushkin.
I guess it's more like so there's 2D, there's two wingers, there's two centers. So like we could do it in the sense that I would say the D for me, I would really hesitate to drop D at this point. Like those guys go, they're gone. But if you drop
I feel like
either
any of these guys on this list here,
yeah.
you drop them, they're gone. You're not getting them back.
I don't think Nishushkin can be dropped. Like his ceiling is way too high. So I think he's crazy safe for me. Meyer is pretty safe for B2, but I could see an argument for him. So Heischer, I would probably drop over Hintz, and then there's one more slot of the last two. I would discount the two defensemen. Who'd it be?
It's hard. It's almost got to pick one to keep between Dunmeyer and Heischer.
Dunmeyer and Heischer. It could be done. We could be done with.
So we are advocating dropping Meyer and Heischer.
Or Dunn and Heischer.
I like 53-point pace as a defenseman but his shooting percentage is a little high. And then he doesn't really hit and block for you for Dunn. But man, it's hard to find those power play defensemen at this point in the season. I'd say Heischer is one of them, one of the drops, and then I just can't decide between Meyer and Dunn. I mean, I'm almost leaning Dunn just because Meyer may not get like.
I'm thinking the other way, and I'm clear. If I clear my hands of Meyer and Heischer, I'm just completely out of New Jersey Devil sweepstakes. Whereas if I keep Meyer, Lord knows,
keep Meyer,
you're gonna watch all those games where Heischer scores, and you're like, God damn it, and Meyer does nothing. I don't need that mental load on my.
But Dunn, like we did say, Dunn is arguably on power play 1. Meyer is not.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So just clear your hands of Meyer and Heischer, clear your hands of New Jersey, and you're just like, I'm washed.
I don't feel good, but I think I might have to agree.
It's the easy way. It's the easy mental load way. Alrighty.
I like Anthony Cirelli too, Frank. No homer bias at all. I still think he's like a stream, probably on good weeks, being center only.
Wait, Jordan Lee is looking to.
There we go. Yeah, he's looking to make some roster moves.
Trade Kaprizov and Zib.
Zib's waking up lately, though.
See, because I don't dislike the Nico and Dougie stack because I love stacks. Lord knows I love stacks.
Yeah, Zib's got 13 points in his last 9. We know he can be like around a point per game guy. So I feel like there's more ceiling there. I don't
There's
know.
definitely more ceiling on the left. There's definitely more ceiling on the Kaprizov and Zib side.
Depending on your formats, I know New York has one of the not so great playoff schedules.
Yeah.
Nico and
also,
Dougie.
when is Kaprizov coming back?
As exactly, we don't know.
Huge value. It's like that. Like those folks that were trying to trade.
I feel like if you're moving Kaprizov and he comes back like next week or something,
Lord, I think if Kaprizov comes back at any point in the season, I think this trade is a complete, like you got dumpster fired.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jordan, I would only make this trade if you, in your assertion, think that Kaprizov is not going to be back in time for a playoff, like fantasy playoffs.
Or even Panarin for Tage.
Panarin for Tage.
That's not the worst trade.
No, I don't think I would do Panarin for Tage because
But no,
what
I
is
don't.
what is Tage playing for?
I
To
know, right?
not get
Yeah.
hurt? He's playing to not get hurt. What is Panarin playing for? Like, holy smokes, he might even get a hit now, 1 or 2 games, like with how serious their games are coming up to be. Like, yeah, you want the desperate player for sure.
So week 24.
Yeah, then I wouldn't make the Kaprizov trade because, like, they want Kaprizov to get some ice time going into the playoffs, and yeah, he's way higher in terms of ceiling than any other guy.
Ouch. Yeah, that's so that week 24, he's saying, jump off New York, guys, where you can. Because that's the week they only have 2 games.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I would say, because how many games does Buffalo have that week? 3, so you get an extra game. 1's on an off night. I don't know.
I think jumping off New York is one thing for sure. I think jumping onto the Buffalo train is not one that I would advocate for. So I was saying, if you're going to trade Panarin, sure. Is there another target you could target instead of a Tage Thompson? That's what I'm thinking.
New Jersey also has 2 games, so I would. That's tough. I hate to tell you not to do that trade at all. Yeah, it feels like if Kaprizov comes back at all, you lose. You lose that one. Sure. Best or good in Minnesota? I don't know.
He lives there in the off season.
Hometown hero. It
Is
happens.
McDavid coming back to Toronto? He also goes there in the off season.
See, the kids look so good in an Avs uniform. Ouch. How do they do that trade though? I mean, Crosby said he wants to stay. I admire that want to go down with the ship.
I mean, he's probably one of the last players to do that setup now, right? Like even Patrick Kane jumped off the boat. Even Claude Giroux jumped off the boat, right? Like there's so many.
Well, Claude Giroux, again, he went to be a hometown hero.
Right. For sure. Yeah. Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah, I can see it.
I feel like a lot of teams would like Besser. Earlier in the season, I remember hearing Columbus, but Columbus really doesn't need goal scoring. They need defense and goalie.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say too, like hometown hero for Sid the Kid. Like, it's not like he's going back to Cole Harbor, Nova Scotia. You know what I mean? Like, if he's going to Colorado, it's like, I don't know.
Right. Let's try to blow through these two because it's afternoon. Done with Timo. Don't blame you. Replacement for him. Giroux, Slav, Ben, or Svech. I think it's Slav or Svech. Probably Svech by a mile.
Gotta be Svech. Yeah. Okay. His team is overly stacked. Wait. Whose team?
So I think we're.
Oh, geez, the 7th place team is.
I'm assuming.
How the hell is the 7th place team holding Crosby, Mac, Werenski, Eichel, and Makar?
Right, some kind of crazy 18-16 keeper or something.
What? Okay. No, Jordan. I would just say play your best guys and. Okay. Sorry. Oh, Yossi, yeah. Play your best guys and don't try to play the lineups. I know you have to beat the team that comes in front of you, but yeah, you just got to do what you got to do. You have to beat his team regardless either way. The big one I would say though is in terms of if you're looking at those specifics in mind and you know his team is there, I would probably
a 12 team. He has all those guys in a 12 team.
How did he get Crosby and Mac? Okay, wait, no, Crosby and Mac, that makes sense. Makar and Mac. So what? He went Makar, Mac.
Oh, I don't know. How does Makar fall that far? How does that
even happen? What? They're both first round dudes. Crosby's like a second or third round dude. Eichel's like a third round. I don't even understand. Anyways, so, but yeah, I would say if your target is there, probably target Crosby's line mates, if anything, on the ad wire. Like a Brian Rust is probably a must add on yours because you want mitigating damage, right? If you're facing
Ricky Rax.
Yeah. Jenner is an awesome one to get to for Werenski. Eichel, I would check to see if Dorofeyev is around, right? Like that's how you mitigate, right? Like if Crosby gets a hat trick, well, Crosby's more likely to assist on a hat trick anyway, right? But then you get all like the byproduct points.
All right. Well, hopefully that answers the question. This would be good still, like Discord stuff too.
For sure.
Well, yeah, we'll go ahead and call it for today. Thanks again for everyone who joined in, watched, contributed it in the chat there. And we'll see ya next Saturday.
Yeah, happy hockey, guys. Best luck getting in for, I guess, the last round playoffs, and I guess we'll pick you up later.